everyone, welcome back to my channel. As you can see next to me, we have stacks of books. I have a massive book haul. There are at least 50 books in this pile right here. I have a lot of different genres. Like, I have such a wide variety of books right here next to me. Like, this is probably my most exciting book haul yet, and I think it's actually my biggest one I've done so far. It's sick, I know, but just to give a disclaimer, these are all books that I've either purchased over the course of the last 2 months. I have some that were gifted to me, so some of these are like PR. A lot of these I did buy secondhand, either at my local secondhand bookstore. I have 2 that I really like that are by me, or off Pango. And then a couple of them are from like Barnes or like smaller local bookstores. I promise I didn't spend as much as it looks. Like I said, 90% of these are used books, or like I said, some of them are gifted to me. And also, I do have every intention of reading all of these books. I buy these books because I plan on reading them. I'm really interested in them, or I know that I already love them and I want them on my shelf. I plan to reread them. I know I probably don't have to give this disclaimer, but I do like to kind of give it so people know, like, I'm not just buying the book to look good on my shelf. I have every intention of reading them. I read at least 20 books a month at this rate, so... Oh, and some of these are like pre-orders or like book box subscriptions as well. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. Go ahead and grab like a drink or a snack or something, because this is going to be a long video. We're just going to actually literally jump right in. Like, I don't even know where to start. I guess I'm gonna start with this one, which you probably have already seen in my reading wrap up. It's kind of funny that I'm including it now, but it is still new. What I do is, like, I get books and then I pile them in my room, and then once they get to like a certain point, then I'm like, okay, cool, I can make a video on it. It ends up normally being like 1 to 2 months. Probably have already seen some of these in videos, but I'm still including them because I did buy them like this month or last month. This is Prey by Michael Crichton. This is a sci-fi book. This is about nanoparticles, micro robots that end up escaping from a lab, and they evolve and they see us as prey and they're programmed as predators. I'm trying to slowly get more into sci-fi books, and I actually do have a video coming out where I'm reading only sci-fi for a week. I'm still in the middle of filming that one. That's where you will see me reading that book. This next one I'm so excited for. I actually was gifted this book and I didn't even know I was getting it. Like, it just showed up in my mailbox, and I'm assuming at some point I filled out something with this author a long time ago, because she obviously had my address. I probably filled out a form like a year ago or something, like being like, oh yeah, I'm interested in this or whatever. But I just can't believe I'm at that point where I actually have gotten books gifted to me, like physical actual books, especially ARCs. I think I got 3 books gifted to me, and we are just now entering March, and my goal for 2025 was to get 1 book gifted to me, whether it's an ARC or a book that's already out. Like, I just wanted like 1 book gifted to me, because I was like, oh my god, like that would be so cool. And I've got 3, and I don't know, that's just so incredible, and I'm so thankful for that, because I genuinely thought when I made this channel that nobody would care. I thought I'd get 10 viewers and I would just be talking to myself. I mean, I am, but you know what I mean. Like, I thought that I didn't think that people would actually care about my videos. I didn't think authors would send me stuff. Let me get back to the video. It is Bride by Initiation by Maggie Cole. Look how good this looks. This is out. By the time this video is posted, this book is out. I plan on reading it actually this week. I'm so excited. It's part of the Underworld series, and I have read 1 book by her. It was called Holiday Hire, and it was like a really fun like holiday nanny romance type book. So I'm excited to read more books by her. So this follows, I believe Zara is her name, and she has her best friend Sean. I guess they've been friends for a long time. It says that there's 2 things we've always wanted but we're off the table: the truth about our fathers and each other. But then a mysterious man shows up, speaking in riddles about an underworld that he claims we're meant to reign in. It's too tempting not to get sucked into the forbidden, even if it means sinking deeper into the darkness. It's clinging to the friends we used to be and the vows that we are now bound to for eternity. So, I don't know. I'm very intrigued by this. I think it's gonna be interesting. The next 3 books that I do have, I've been wanting to read the series for so long. This is one of my favorite authors now. I've only read Crowns of Nyaxia by her, like literally the first book in the novella in that series, but the second I finished The Serpent and the Wings of Night, if anyone has been with me for a long time, you probably actually already know this. I made a video a long time ago where I read that book. It was like fall of 2024 at some point, and I remember in that video being like, I'm obsessed with this author and like I want to read everything by her. Like, she kind of turned into an auto-buy author for me. Long story short, I've been wanting to read this series, and I saw that it got picked up by a publisher and it's getting like a rebrand. And I love the original covers. Like normally I don't like people on my covers that much, but for some reason these ones are just so like, I don't know, like I love them. So I ran to get them like literally 5 minutes after she posted that. And that is the War of Lost Hearts series. So we have Daughter of No Worlds. Let me actually show you the covers. So this is Daughter of No Worlds, and then Children of Fallen Gods, and Mother of Death and Dawn. Like she just looks so like, oh, I love it. I've heard nothing but good things about this series, and like I said, it's been on my list for so long, and I wanted to make sure that I had these covers because I've missed out on so many original covers that I loved that are now reselling for so much, and I'm like, no, not this time. I'm gonna get this series, and I know I'm gonna love it because I love her. I love her writing. So these next two I did get in a book box from the Arcane Society. This was my first box from them. The author is Karina Halley. It is the Dracula duet, and they're so pretty. So we have Blood Orange and Black Rose. You guys will probably see this again in like a book vlog that I'm doing. A lot of my videos like the last couple weeks and the next few weeks probably all like are kind of interconnected because I was filming like 4 videos at once while also waiting to do this book haul, because I was waiting for all the books I knew were coming in like to come in before I did this video, so I was filming other things. A lot of these books you'll see in other videos, but I'll show you this one first. So that's that, and then it's so cute. This looks so good. I actually have a friend who read it. She said she really liked it. So, and then this is the second one. The front and the backs on these are the same, so that's why I'm only showing you the front. And then we've got the edges as well. This next one is another book that was gifted to me, so thank you so much, Bailey Thomas. If you are watching this, I doubt it, but you never know. It is You Should Have Just Let Me Go. And this sounds really good. This is about Haley and Logan. So they've been dating for 6 years. Haley's ready for the next step, like marriage and everything, whereas Logan is hesitant, and he's been kind of prioritizing his work. He's a new realtor. He's working towards selling a house, and his priorities revolve around his career path and less on the current status of his relationship. Their views kind of change when they realize that they might not be the ones that they want to spend forever with because of these differences and everything. It says it's a hard time to walk away from the person that you've spent over half a decade with, even if things are headed in the wrong direction. Is their love for each other enough, or should they just let each other go? I'm really curious about this one. I didn't look much into it because I like to go into books mostly blind, so I don't know if it's like a second chance romance type thing or if they don't end up together in the end. I hope it's like a happily ever after, but we will see. Is anyone else like that? Like I really try not to read. The only time is like if I see a bunch of TikToks or something on it, but like if it's a book that I don't hear of often, like this one for example, I try not to read reviews or like the full synopsis or anything because it's like more fun when you go in blind. But at the same time, I'm also the same person that like if I'm reading a book and I'm like getting stressed, I will read the end of the book and then continue. So I'm like an oxymoron or something. I don't know. Like I contradict myself. Okay, these next 4 books I got used off Pango, and when I found them for $5 each, I was like, oh my gosh, perfect. Because I believe it or not, I have not read Throne of Glass yet. I know. And that is my goal for this year. I do want to read Throne of Glass, but the only Throne of Glass I have is this beautiful special edition from Acrylic Picks with like the edges completely painted. And I didn't want to read those because hello, they're perfect, and I want to, hi. Where was I? Oh, and I want to fully annotate them, I think. I never know if I'm going to annotate a book until obviously as I'm reading it, but I had a feeling I'm going to want to annotate it because everybody annotates it. Like, I just feel like it's going to be really good. I keep over explaining why I'm buying these books. So I have the first 4 of the paperbacks, and I wanted to obviously get the rest of the paperbacks, but every time I see them in like the store, they're like 20 bucks each, and I'm like, oh, like I already own a set of these books, so it's like I want to get them used where they're like obviously cheaper and stuff. So I found these for $5 each. So I got Tower of Dawn, Empire of Storms, Queen of Shadows, and Kingdom of Ash. So now I have the full set in paperback. Okay, next we have Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. I got this one in February for like when you go to the Barnes & Noble cafe and you get like the $5 book, So this was like my first time doing that, and they even had like the little sprayed edges. This follows Liz and Wes. Oh my gosh, they're next door neighbors. You would think that he would be the prime candidate for her romantic comedy fantasies, but Wes has only proven himself to be a pain in the butt ever since they were little. He put a frog in her Barbie dream house. He had lawn gnomes' severed heads in their neighborhood book exchange. Wes. Fast forward 10 years. It's her senior year and she needs Wes's help. Her crush Michael just moved back to town. Liz and Wes are scheming to get her magical prom moment, and she discovers that she likes being around Wes, and they grow closer. Oh my gosh, okay, this sounds like it's gonna be really cute. I actually didn't know what this book was about at all. Like, I have not looked at it since I bought it that day. Up next, this is another one that I got off Pango. This is the Atlas 6 by Olive E. Blake. I think I own like every book by Olive E. Blake now, and I still have yet to read any of them, and I don't know why. I'm so nervous to read them, but like I just have not reached for them, even though I want to read her books so bad. Like, does that make any sense? Like, I don't know what it is. Like, I'm just I feel like her books are going to be very like literary, like masterpieces, so I feel like I have to be right, like in the right headspace to read them. Maybe I'm crazy for that, I don't know. This one I got at my local one of my local like used bookstores, and I saw it and I was like, oh my god, that's so cool. Like, if you don't know about me, like if this is the first video you're seeing of me, I love Greek mythology, like maybe too much than like the average person. Like, ever since I could remember like thinking, I love Greek mythology. Don't know why, don't know where it came from, but that's like my Roman Empire. Oh, well, that's like my obsession. Like, it's all I can think of all the time. That's a little dramatic. I think of other things, but I found this at the used bookstore and I just thought it was really cool. It's just like, you know, just a book about like Greek mythology. So I got that one, and then at Barnes & Noble I saw this one was on sale for $10, and it is the illustrated version of the Iliad. So I just thought that was really cool too, because I actually have 2 different copies of the Iliad. So I was like, why not get a third one, right? Alright, 1 massive pile down, 2 more massive piles to go. Up next, you've already seen this one in a video, but I have Does It Hurt by H.G. Carlton. This, I just love H.G. Carlton. I love her books. I haven't read this one, and I saw it at the store when I was with my sister, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get it because, I don't know, it's hard to talk me out of things, so. Another one that you've already seen in a video, but this is Forgive Me, Father by Katerina St. Clair. This was such a good book. I actually already read this one, obviously, in a vlog. But this is a like priest and altar server like romance. It's really good. There's side plots and just everything about it is so good. And yeah, this is not a reading wrap up. This is a book haul. So let me stop. These next 2 books I read the first one on the Kindle, and as I was reading it, I was like, oh my god, I'm obsessed with this, and like I need physical books. So I got them from Better World Books, I think is the name of it. It's like an online used bookstore. Because like that's just what I'm trying to do at this point. When I want to buy a book, I really try to find like a used one first, just because one, I'm like giving it a home, you know what I mean? Like, you know, it's like I'm adopting it, but also it's better for my wallet, it's better for everything, and I'm supporting like someone else, you know what I mean? So anyways, it is the North Shore series, and I got Beautiful Fiend and then Heartless Beloved. I haven't read this one yet. I read this one, so good. If you like dark romance, I definitely recommend these. They're insane. They're dark. I'll definitely be getting the rest of the series, but I'm trying to be a little more financially responsible, believe it or not. I actually am on a book buying ban after this video, and I actually mean it this time. The only things I'm allowed are things I obviously already like pre-ordered, and like my most anticipated books that were like coming out this year that are part of a series I'm in the middle of and stuff like that. So those are like my only exceptions, but even then it really like depends on like, okay, do I need to get this right now or can it wait? Up next, this is a recommendation by my friend Gabriella, and I'm really excited to read this. She said she loved it, so I actually think I'm going to read it this month, and it is 3 Women by Lisa Taddeo. This obviously follows 3 different women. It's Lena, a young mother in Indiana whose marriage has lost its passion, reconnects with an old flame through social media. Then we have Maggie, a 17-year-old high school student in North Dakota, allegedly engages in a relationship with her married English teacher. And then we have Sloan, who's a successful restaurant owner in an exclusive enclave of the Northeast, is happily married to a man who likes to watch her have sex with other men and women. I didn't read anything about this. Like, we were at the store and she's like, oh my god, this book is so good, and I said, okay, I'll buy it. So that sums up me as a person. So this explores desire, heartbreak, and infatuation in all of its messy, complicated nuances. It introduces us to 3 unforgettable women whose experiences remind us that we're not alone. So it sounds really good. Next, I got this from, we have this really cute like smut book truck, romance book truck that drives around to like different places, and then you can go and like buy books and stickers and stuff from them. So they were doing an event in the mall one day, and it was just really cute, and I can't like go somewhere without buying like a book. Like if I walk in a bookstore, or if I go to somewhere that there's books, like 90% of the time I'm leaving with something because I just can't help it. Plus it's like this small like independently owned thing, like I want to obviously support them. So I got Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver. She has become an auto-buy author for me as well. I love her books. She like writes cowboy romances that aren't cringe cowboy. Does that make sense? And you know what, Elsie Silver has a way of writing tropes that I hate and making me love them. I don't know what it is. The only thing I don't like is the cover. I keep thinking this is like dirt on the cover, but it's like part of the design. So that's like the only thing I don't like. Up next, this was another ARC I received. This book comes out in June of 2025. I don't know why I said that as if it's not 2025 right now. It comes out June this year. And again, I'm so grateful that I received this. So this is Notes on Infinity by Austin Taylor. This sounds really good. So this is following Zoe. She's a daughter of an MIT professor. She grew up in her brother's shadow. She wants to go to Harvard. Then we have Jack, who is in a boy in her chemistry class. I guess they're like competitive with each other and everything. They're super intellectual. Jack refers Zoe for a position in a prestigious professor's lab. They end up becoming colleagues, and they find themselves on the cusp of a breakthrough, the promise of immortality through a novel anti-aging drug. They start receiving accusations that threaten to destroy the company they built in their partnership. It says it's a captivating novel about young love and the allure of immortality and the recklessness that can come with early success. That sounds so good. This next one is from a subscription box, and Illumicrate just started a sci-fi like box called Starbright. This was their first book, and it is Death of the Author. So this is their cover. It looks so cool. The inside, look how cool the inside is. I'm obsessed with this. So cool. And then we have, she's dropped from her university job, and her latest novel is rejected, all in the middle of her sister's wedding. So she's disabled, unemployed, and from a judgmental family. She like doesn't kind of know where to go in life. So she ends up deciding to write a book very unlike her others, and it's a science fiction drama about droids and the extinction of humanity. So I think we're kind of following her in her life writing the story, but also we get trapped into that story because it says that her life between reality and like this world kind of blurred together. These next two are books that I got from Blackwell's UK. So I got Belladonna by Addt'l Links. I got this one because honestly I don't like the US cover. I don't know what it is, but something about it just like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't like it. I don't know why. I can't explain it, but I just don't like it. So I got this one because I do really want to read this book, but like I just couldn't because I hated that cover. All I know about this one is that death like follows her and she ends up like falling in love with death or something like that. But I've just heard really good things about it. And then also from Blackwell's, I got Blue Sisters by Coco Mellors. This is another book that I heard was really, really good. It's been all over my Bookstagram. Like everyone I follow, they were like posting it and reading it, and I was like so intrigued by it. Plus like I just think the cover is so cool looking. It says a sister is not a friend, you're part of each other right from the start. So there's 4 sisters. One of them unexpectedly dies, and there's 3 remaining sisters. They reunite to attempt to stop the sale of their childhood home. They only find that by returning to each other is how they can navigate their grief, addiction, and heartbreak and learn to fall in love with life again. Like, I don't know, it sounds like it's gonna make me cry, to be honest, but sometimes I'm just like really in the mood for like a book like this, and then other times I'm in the mood to read fairies, so you know. The next 3 that I have are gonna definitely be anticipated fantasy reads for me. I'm really excited to eventually jump into these. First I have Rhapsodic, I don't know if I'm saying that right. I heard really good things about this one. I love the cover. I think it's really cool, and this is part of the Bargainer series. For the past 7 years, Callie has been wearing a bracelet of black beads up to her wrist, and they're magical IOUs for favors that she once received. Only death or repayment will fulfill her obligations. So she went to this bargainer because she needed like favors. He can get you anything you want and at a price. Everyone knows that sooner or later he always collects, but for Callie, he's never asked for repayment until now. This is a book about Fae. It says Fae warriors are going missing one by one and only the women are returned. For the bargainer to save his people, he'll need the help of the siren he spurned long ago if she can forgive him. It just sounds really interesting. Then I have, which first off, I did not realize how much of a brick this was because I've only seen it on my Kindle, but it is The City of Gods and Monsters by Kayla Edwards, and she's definitely a brick. Like, it doesn't even fully close for me. That's okay. Again, love the cover, and I've heard really good things about this one. Like, this is definitely a very popular book trending right now. Death is only the beginning. Lauren has only ever been ordinary, a human struggling to survive in the city that caters to the needs of vampires, werewolves, witches, and other supernatural creatures. I've heard people compare this to Crescent City, where it's like this urban fantasy with modern day technology, but also like all of these mythical creatures in one area. She barely escapes the abduction of dark slayers, which are supernatural bounty hunters, and one of her friends is taken in her place, and they want Lauren's life in exchange for her friend's safe return. She ends up getting help from Darian, who is the leader of the Seven Devils and the most feared dark slaying circle in the city. He specializes in tracking down demons and criminals that are better off dead than alive. I think I'm gonna love this because I love Crescent City. I've only read the first one, but I love it. So, and then this other one is Fairytale by Veronica Lancet. Again, obsessed with the cover. This follows Darcy. She's an orphaned English teacher from Boston. She receives a letter that her biological father passed away. She has to travel to Fairytale to attend his funeral. Why is this kind of giving Hollow Heathens? So the second she steps foot into Fairytale, things start to go amiss. Odd residents, odd rumors, and odd deaths. Everything about Fairytale is odd, including Caleb Hale. And then there's another man who haunts her dreams, Amon, who's a noble man who lived 2 centuries ago. Oh, is this like a love triangle? Soon she finds herself embroiled in a triangle of lies, deceit, and inexplicable events that make her question her sanity. When an ancient evil threatens a town and everything Darcy holds dear, she must make the ultimate choice, but will she survive it? I feel like it's kind of giving like Hollow Heathens, right? If anyone's read Hollow Heathens and Fairytale, like let me know if they're like similar. Up next, it's actually only 2 books, but I have 4 books because I want to show you the dust covers. It is the Eternal Embers Larry Reed's edition of Saving and Redeeming 6. So I put the dust covers on like the regular paperbacks because they're so cute and I just wanted them like displayed. But then these are like the actual editions. So, oh, you know I love Joey and Aoife. I can't, like, I love them so much. I was so excited. This was something that I pre-ordered a long time ago, so when they finally said that they were coming, I was like, oh my gosh, so excited. Like, they're just so pretty. All of these next ones I got at one of my used bookstores, like all in one visit, and they were all cheap. I'm pretty sure they were all like $5 or like between $5 and $7. So the first one I got was Clockwork Princess because I'm obsessed with the Shadowhunters. I only had like from high school the paperbacks of the Mortal Instruments, and then I think like one of the Infernal Devices. So throughout this like last year, I've been trying to recollect all of the Mortal Instruments, like the entire Shadowhunters series, like Infernal Devices. What is the other one? Oh, the Dark Artifices. I've been trying to collect the entire world. I really want to do a big, massive reread of the entire Shadowhunters universe because that was like my favorite book growing up. So long story short, again, I got Clockwork Princess because this is the only one of the Infernal Devices that I'm missing. So then I got Corrupt by Penelope Douglas because again, it was there and I think it was like $6 or something. And I remember liking this. I was like, you know what? For $6, like let's get her on my shelf. Then same thing, Twisted Games. I already read this, but it was $5, and Twisted Games and Twisted Lies are my favorite in this series. I definitely want to do a reread of this one. I recently did a reread of Twisted Lies because I love Christian Harper. So I kind of want to do a reread of this one too. Then The Play by Elle Kennedy. I have book 1 and 4 or something. I don't know why. I think what happened is like they were at a table like featured at Barnes & Noble one day, so I like bought that one because it's like, oh my god, this sounds so good. So I've been reading the series like way out of order, but that's okay because they're interconnected, so it's fine. This is the 3rd book. Then this is another book that I've had on my TBR that I saw there and I was like, why not get it? And it is Kingdom of the Wicked. Sorry, these I'm just like kind of doing like a quick run through. I'm not really like going through the plot of those ones. I don't know why, sorry. Another one, this is XOXO. I got this one because not everybody. I saw a couple videos that were like, oh my god, if you love XO Kitty and like you want something similar in book form, like get this. And I was like, okay, sure. That's all you had to say. So who knows if it's anything like XO Kitty or if that's just like 3 people and that's the only people who think it, but regardless, it sounded good to me. So people said it gives like K-drama vibes, and I was like, yeah, that kind of sounds fun. So, and then I got Tokyo Ever After because 2 years ago I got Tokyo Dreaming at like Barnes & Noble or something, and I didn't realize it was part of a series. Can we like normalize putting, if it's on a series, like the number on the side or something again? Because I hate getting a book and then being like, oh, it's the 3rd book in a series. You know what I mean? So I found this one for $3 at the store. So I was like, even if I don't end up liking the series, at least now I can read it. The other one's a paperback and this is a hardcover, but again, for $3, I'm like, oh, I'd be stupid not to get it. So up next, I got Gone by Michael Grant. So the backstory for this one is my sister and I were obsessed with a show called The Society. They canceled it after 1 season, and a lot of people said that this and Under the Dome by Stephen King, that show literally like pulled the plot from those books and like turned it into a show. Me and her were like trying to find a book to fill that void, and Under the Dome is like this thick, and she was like, no, and I was like, no, not right now. So anyways, this is what we went with. It sounded really good. It's like a YA thriller, I think. If you've seen The Society, listen, because I feel like this sounds literally the exact same. It says, everyone except for the young. Teens, middle schoolers, toddlers, but not a single adult. No teachers, no cops, no doctors, no parents. No phones, internet, television. There's no way to get help. Hunger threatens, bullies rule, and a sinister creature lurks. Animals are mutating and the teens are changing, developing new, unimaginable, dangerous, deadly powers that grow stronger by the day. Sides are being chosen and war is imminent. The first in a breathtaking saga about teens battling each other in their darkest selves. I feel like that sounds like The Society. If you haven't watched the show, it's really good, but it sucks because it kind of ends on a cliffhanger and there's no season 2. So, but it is so good, and we're really hoping that this kind of like fills the void and we can get like pretend answers, because obviously we don't know how that ends. So we're gonna like try to make our own ending, I guess, from books. Up next, I found this on Pango, and I've been really wanting to read this. I found it was really cheap on Pango, probably because the condition's like not the greatest, to be honest. But I didn't realize it was a signed copy, so I'm kind of like, okay, that's cool. And plus, like I said, if I'm getting a used book, like I already know it's not going to be in good condition. Like I don't really care at that point. But it is The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. It's about a teenager. She vanishes from her summer camp. This takes place in 1975. She's a daughter of the family that owns the camp and employs most of the residents. So a search begins and a thrilling drama unfolds. The God of the Woods is a story of inheritance and second chances. The tension between family, community, and history that will not let any of them go. I don't know if that really told anybody what it was actually about, but I guess we'll figure out when we read it. I just heard it was really good. Oh, this is another one I got at that used bookstore with that other pile, and it's The Fabric of Our Souls. I've already read this book, love this book, so when I saw it there for like $6, I was like, you know what, again, you belong on my shelf. Next book is Daughters of Olympus. Again, I love Greek mythology. I love any Greek mythology retelling. I have a literal Greek mythology like bookshelf section. This follows Demeter, and this is kind of like, I think, her side of when Persephone is kidnapped by Hades and everything. I think it follows like her story as like her mother. Oh, this is another one I got from Blackwell's because I read this book a long time ago, like in high school, and obviously with everything going on, I just wanted to like read it again, and it's 1984, and I just thought this cover was so much cooler than any of the ones I've seen here. Then we have The Island by Natasha Preston. I have another book by her. I haven't read it yet, but a lot of people said that her books are really good and fast and easy to read. And I thought this sounded so good. So it's about Jagged Island, and it's a private amusement park for the very rich or the very influential. So we have Liam, James, Will, Ava, Harper, and Paisley. They're social media influencers, and they've been invited for an exclusive weekend before the park opens. They're being sent there, and then in return they have to post like videos and pictures and stuff. So they arrive, everything is great, their rooms are beautiful, the park is cool and everything, but soon they realize that something's missing, getting off the island alive. It just seems like a fast-paced thriller, and I feel like it'd be a really good like palette cleanser in between, because like I feel like a lot of fantasy books. Then again, like thriller horror vibes, I got Ring by Koji Suzuki. Me and my sister got this because first off, it looks really cool. And it's like the movie where a mysterious videotape warns the viewer that they will die in 1 week unless a certain unspecified act is performed. Exactly 1 week after watching the tape, 4 teenagers die, one after another, of heart failure. So it's following a journalist who is intrigued by his niece's death. So he's like investigating it and everything. I think I'm gonna wait until like around Halloween time to read this, obviously. Then another highly anticipated fantasy book that I really want to read this year is Heavenly Bodies. I feel like this is another one that's like all over right now, like everybody's talking about it. It's like a celestial like fantasy. I think there's fated mates. I don't know. It's also just beautiful. We're almost done. I swear I have like 5 books left. Up next, I do have this new edition of The Hunger Games. I didn't get all of them. I just got this one. Really, there was like no reason. I just didn't want to spend the money on them all. Obviously, I read the series a long time ago when I was younger. And I ended up getting rid of all of the paperbacks at the time because I went through a phase where like I didn't really want to keep many of my books, like because I had a really small bookshelf. I don't know, I got rid of them for some reason. So I want to kind of thrift and find all of the paperbacks again from like that time. So that's another reason why I don't want to get them all, because I really love those paperbacks. But I just thought this one was like really cute and I wanted to get it just for like the purpose of it being The Hunger Games. And then along with that, I got The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes because I haven't read this one yet actually. And I want to do a full reread before I read the new one that just came out. So I saw this one on Pango. And this is like the style of the covers that I love. So like once I get the rest of the paperbacks, I feel like they'll look really nice next to each other. Then I got Pucking Around by Emily Rath. Kendall, if you guys know Kendall Reads on YouTube, she recommended me this book and she's like obsessed with it. So again, that's all I needed to hear for me to go and get it. And I love a hockey romance and I believe it's like a Why Choose or something like that. She's thick. She's thick for a romance. Sometimes I'm like, what all happens in this book for it to be this thick? Because in a fantasy, it makes sense because there's like other things going on. But like in a romance, I'm like, what all's happening? But if the book is good, I love a thick book. Sometimes I'm like, why isn't it longer, you know? And the last one I'm so excited for because I was going to get this when it first like was being sold and I didn't end up getting it again because I'm an idiot, and then it sold out or something and I was really sad about it and I was like, oh dang, like I missed out on it. Oh, I didn't end up getting it because I didn't end up reading the series yet. So like I was like, oh well, what if I don't like it? Like maybe I shouldn't get the special edition just yet. Like let me stop doing that. But then I read it and I was like, oh my god, I love this series. I saw it at Barnes & Noble, so I guess they're selling it again. I don't know if it's limited or if now it's like a permanent item, but it is the collector's edition of The Cruel Prince. So it's like this nice velvet style like book, and then the edges are like black. We have some artwork. So yeah, I was like, you know what, I'm getting her this time because in case it is limited, I was like, I'm not missing out again for the second time. So that is it. Those are all of the books that I got. I hope you guys stayed until the end. If you did stay until the end, go ahead and comment. What should I have you guys comment? Comment like one of these books, like if you've read them or if you really want to read one of these, like if they're on your TBR for this year. I'm really curious. You'll be seeing a lot of these in videos, or some are already in videos that I've posted the last few weeks. Definitely subscribe and hit the bell button next to it. That way you are notified whenever I do post these vlogs reading these. That is it for today's video and I will see you guys next week. Bye!